Welcome back to this section or this lecture. And in this lecture, we're going to talk about updating our collections. We can create our collections, we can find our collections, we can create our documents in the collection, we can find our documents. Now, what do we do? Well, we can update them as well, and I'll show you how. First thing, of course, we do is connect to our client. We connect it, we find our book. Now, what do we do? Well, there are methods in MongoDB that I'm going to show, like this PyMongo lets us have them, and there's a method called update1, and update1 is a method where the first parameter you're going to pass is going to show you what you're looking for. It's going to be exactly like this one right here, this one right here. You used to pass this in the find method, and you're going to pass the same thing here. You're going to pass the query, what you're looking for. You have a lot of books. What do you want to change? Well, I want to change, let's say, name of, that was accidental, name of my book is Atomic Habits, and I want to change its publish date. Well, how do I do it? Well, there is another argument you have to pass here to update1. The second argument is telling you what do you want to do to the MongoDB. And you say, well, I want to set something, I want to update something. So set is the way you do it. Remember, the $sign and set is the key, and the value is a dictionary that is telling you what do you want to do with it. So let's say I want to set my published year to 2021. Oh, I'm just changing it, let's say. Again, this update1 method is going to return the modified count. It's going to return an object which is going to have a it's going to return a cursor which is going to have a modified count. Think of it just like a book object. And this modified count is going to tell us whether something was modified or not. So we can see that something was modified, that's why it's 1. If I run it again, it's 0. Now, one thing I'm going to do simultaneously is show you all the things I'm going to find. And I'm going to print them in a list. I'm just going to show, and I'm going to do that every time. So I run that again, and I see that my book, Atomic Habits, published year is changed to 2021. It was 2018, if you remember that. We're going to do the same thing for another one. We're going to do the same thing for, let's say, I want to find another book with a different kind of parameter. Let's say my author name was, let's say, Jim Collins, right? And I want to change its published year to 2021 too. Now it's going to find a book whose author name is Jim Collins, and it's going to change its published date to 2021. Let's run that again. You can see Jim Collins' book's published name is changed to 2021. Now, what if I want to change a lot of things at once? Well, there's a method for that too, because you're changing one by one. Let's say I have a book that was published in 2019, and all of them have a defect that I want to change. Well, there is a method for that, and let's just run it without any problem. Books.updateMany is the method, and you do the same thing. First thing you're going to pass in is, well, what is the parameter that you're searching for? And it's published, of course, here, because we are saying that all the books that were published in 2021, I want to change their name to something. Let's say I pass in 2021. Now the second parameter, of course, is how do you want to change, how do you want to update? And I want to set some values in my document. And how do I want to set them? You pass to the value, you pass a dictionary, and in that dictionary you tell them what are the parameters that I want to change. Well, I want to change their name to published in 2021. Of course, not very useful, but if I run this, you can see published in 2021 is in 2 places, and their published year was 2021. So this was all for updation. You can use update1, you can use update-many for updating many things. You will be using both in real life. So that's all I wanted to share about MongoDB. Of course, this can get very complicated. You can write many complicated queries, for instructions for updating your documents and your collections. So in the next section, we're going to talk about deleting our documents in our collection and how we can do that. So I'll see you in the next one.